Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us. Thanksgiving concert, our annual Thanksgiving concert, started here as a tradition at Temple Emanuel in 2009. I remember vividly that growing up in Argentina, I was not familiar with the idea of a celebration that lasted for 4 days. And in a way, I have to admit, I was kind of bored. And I said, how about doing a concert at Temple Emanuel? I knew that the December 24th annual concert at Temple Emanuel worked really well. So how about doing a concert on Thanksgiving? We tried. I remember doing a concert with some professional colleagues of Broadway music, and we had 600 people here unexpectedly, and that's how the tradition started. Over the years, we had many different types of music, many different performers, and this year is going to be really special, welcoming Safam in concert, one of the leading Jewish American rock bands, and it will be a pleasure to have them. I'm going to have now a conversation with Joel Sussman from Safam, and we hope you enjoy it. Joel, welcome. A real pleasure.
To be here.
A real pleasure to have you with us. All right, so Safam. I would like to begin this conversation by asking you to describe in a few words what Safam is. I know what Safam is, but we want to bring this information to our audience, and very much looking forward to our concert.
Well, we're very much looking forward to playing here. 2 years in the making. We were going to be here in December of 2019. Was
exactly.
it?
Yeah. Yes.
December 2019, and it got sort of something happened that caused us not to have that meeting. So it's wonderful to be coming back to Temple Emanuel. Well, literally, Safam means mustache. And I can't tell you where the name came from. There's a lot of different stories within the group of how it happened, but I guess we all had mustaches when we started. So Safam,
yeah, I can tell by the early pictures.
Yes. Safam is a Jewish American musical group. We began in 1974, a long time ago, when we were all very young. And we play an eclectic variety of musical styles, all original music, that reflect the Jewish experience, whether it's the Jewish American experience, Israel, world, whatever. And we've been doing it successfully for 47 years.
Beautiful. So, Joel, why don't you tell us how many CDs have the group recorded, and pretty much where do you get the inspiration for all that?
Well, we've done 11 studio albums. There's some compilation albums, but 11 original studio albums. Most of the music is original that Robbie Solomon and I have written, some on our own and some together. And the inspiration comes from everywhere. It comes from living the Jewish American life experience. So some of it has to do with family and raising children and parents passing, experiences in Israel, experiences growing up. I think what has made Safam unique in modern Jewish music is that our original music all has original lyrics. So we're not drawing on just taking prayers from the Siddur or passages from Tanakh, but we spend a lot of time and effort to write original lyrics to original music in topics that would be of meaning to our listening audience.
I remember vividly, this is a personal experience. In the mid-90s, I was a cantor in Argentina. I started very young. And I remember I would grab any kind of recordings or any kind of Jewish music that I could in order to learn new music and to see what was out there. I remember 95 was the year, and I heard Ismechu. Ismechu v'malechutecha. And I said, wow, that band sounds really good. So going back a few decades ago, how did the group start?
Our origins are tied to Zamir Karel. So back in 1972, I had just moved to Boston. I came here from Israel. Danny Funk was finishing law school in Boston. Alan Nelson, the only one in the group that was born and raised in Boston. We all wound up singing in Zamir Chorale that year and became friends. So it started off as a friendship. We all realized we had a connection with music beyond just Jewish choral music. And so we started playing, the three of us.
Right, all of you were not only singers, but also musicians.
Yeah, Nellie and I both play instruments. So, and I started playing in rock and roll bands when I was 15. So I've been playing professionally since I was 15, meaning somebody paid me.
So I would imagine 70s, long hair, right?
The hair was a little longer. There's a lot more of it. So this was very early. And we played for, Hadassah luncheons and donor dinners, whatever we could find. And by mid-1974 is when we decided we could really do something very unique. I had a rock and roll background. The guys were all interested in popular music. And so we decided, let's make this more of electronic and more of a popular band sound. We got friends who could play bass and drums, and they joined us. And we started playing. Our first concert as Safam was in December of 1974, and we played right after the intermission at a Zamir concert. That's how it started.
Wow. Where was that concert?
That was at the old Hayden Hall at BU, which is now the Psy Musical Center. So that was our first concert. And we played songs from Israeli Song Festival and Hasidic Song Festival. I don't even think we did anything original at that first concert. Bashana Haba'ah was probably the most...
And I would imagine that in the 70s, recording technology was very different to what it is now.
Very different. Our first 5, 6 albums were all done the old analog method on a tape. No auto-tune, no correcting, done on old 16-track machines. And when you wanted to edit, you got out a razor blade and cut the tape and pasted it back together again. So
beautiful. And so the question is, how do you guys get along after 47 years?
Surprisingly well.
You hear all the stories about the Beatles and the Rolling Stones.
It helps to be friends. So first and foremost, we're all friends. And I guess that's part of the magic that has allowed us to survive, that we still enjoy one another's company. We still like getting together. There's a commonality in the love of the music. We still like playing in front of an audience. So that hasn't changed.
Wonderful. Well, Joel, very much looking forward to our concert on November 28th. Thank you for coming and for doing this interview with me. And we will see you soon.
My pleasure. Look forward to it.
Thank you. So, Joel, since I have you here, I wouldn't miss the opportunity to ask you to play some music that is going to be played with you and Safam at the concert on the 28th. Could you do that?
Great, I'd love to. I know one of the songs that you do here at Temple Emanuel at least once a year is Nachamu Ami. It's done the Shabbos after Tisha B'Av. And that's a song I wrote a long time ago. Actually, one of the few songs I wrote without being on an instrument. I kind of wrote it in my head, in shul, on Shabbat Nachamu.
Wow.
It's the middle of the summer. And needless to say, I was a little bored sitting there during this long Haftorah, and I'm reading in the Chumash, and I'm looking at the English translation, and I'm saying, boy, this is a great lyric for a song. And I have this idea that I'm daydreaming about during the actual Haftorah reading. And then after Shabbos, sat down at the piano, and it was one of those songs that I didn't really have to work on. It just kind of poured out. Probably in a half an hour, the whole thing was written. So that's a song that's been recorded, and by just about every choir in the world has done it one time or another. So,
could you share that with me?
Davru alev Yerushalayim vekiru eleha gimala tzeva kir nirtza avona kilacha miyad Hashem kiflaim bechol chatoteha. Nachamu, nachamu, ami. Nachamu, nachamu, yomar Elokechem. Nachamu, nachamu, ami. Nachamu, nachamu, yomar Elokechem.
Beautiful. What a great story.
Yeah.
What a great story. Could you show us a little bit more about
Sure.
some of the other songs we'll
Sure,
be
a
hearing?
song that we're going to be, I know we'll probably do this on November 28th. We do it at most concerts. It's a song called Just Another Foreigner. Robbie and I, it's one of the first songs Robbie and I wrote together. I had the music and then we wrote the lyrics together. But the opening verse goes, sitting in a hall in Kiryat Shmona with Jews from Syria, Yemen, and Iran, the only Ashkenazi in Kiryat Shmona. I can hear their laughter, but I cannot understand. That actually was from a true life experience. When I first moved to Israel, I was living in a Merkaz Klita in Kiryat Shmona. And we literally were the only Ashkenazim in Kiryat Shmona. And we went to shul for Yom Kippur and was totally lost. It was all melodies I had never heard before. It was Hebrew in an accent. I couldn't even figure out what the Hebrew was they were saying. Couldn't find my place in the machzor at all. They finally got to Avinu Malkeinu, and they used our Avinu Malkeinu. I finally found where we were. It was the end of the service. But that kind of started the genesis of writing this tune. Sitting in a hall in Kiryat Shmona with Jews from Syria, Yemen, and Iran, the only Ashkenazi in Kiryat Shmona. I can hear the laughter, but I cannot understand. Just another foreigner in another foreign land. But these strangers are my brothers as they take me by the hand, singing Alechem Salam, Salam Alechem, Heim Sharu Bruchim Habaim, Shalom Alechem.
Beautiful. Thank you for that beautiful story. Do we have time for one more?
One more. So here's one that's sort of the anthem of the band. It's our kind of our theme song at the end of most shows. Friends were for partners in '74, playing a gig in December. Each one had taken the stage before, but that was the first time together. All of the cheers as we played with Samir had something historic begun. For who would believe after all of these years that we'd still be here as Safam?
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, what a treat. Thank you so much,
Thank
Joel.
you.
Thank you. We'll see you on the 28th.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, Joel, for this wonderful conversation. And the invitation is open to all of you. Sunday, November 28 at 7 p.m. You have two options of how to watch this fabulous concert. You can attend the concert in the Rabbi Samuel Chill Sanctuary on the 28th at 7 p.m. in person, in the same way we've been doing services. The audience will be masked and the performers will be without mask but tested before, so everybody can feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable attending in person, you'll be able to watch the concert in the live stream. Watch your emails and watch your temple news for the link in order to be able to buy tickets for both in person or online. So we will see you on the 28th. Thank you so much.